Well, let's come to this. The Financial Sector Conduct Authority has issued 7 warnings about individuals and companies that appear to be hoodwinking the public, and that's just for this month alone. But before you give anyone your hard-earned money, you need to actually do some research. Personal finance guru Maya Fisher-Friends joins us now to explain even further. And Maya, thank you so much for your time. And I suppose let's start here. I mean, what can then, what's typically are the type of fraudulent activities that I suppose the FSCA is warning about in this instance?
So I must say the FSCA has been very, very busy. I've just had 7 of them out quickly, which is great because, of course, once they send out these warnings, people have some idea that this is a place they shouldn't be operating, using. The kind of typical themes that we're picking up here, one of them, which was interesting, is a funeral insurance company that's selling insurance policies, but they're not underwritten by any insurer. Which means that you're not sure whether there's actually a policy behind it. So that was, that is something you really need to double check. If you're taking out any insurance, check that it's underwritten. Is there a company that's named that you're familiar with in South Africa that's actually underwriting it and behind it? One that was very concerning to me is that there's a couple of companies using fake FSP number. So an FSP number is a financial services provider number, and that's the number that is given to you as a company if you are registered as an authorized financial service provider in South Africa. So people are putting up websites, they're saying, yes, we're registered, here's our FSP number, and it's fake. So this is, I think I can mention them because FSCA has spoken about them. Livestock Capital Funds is one, Capital Pros another, that are basically using fake numbers. Then you've got the usual unregistered platforms. Those are usually crypto and forex who are operating, and one bunch are actually offering retirement funds, but they're not at all registered with the FSCA. And I think the one that also really concerns me are people that are impersonating real companies. So the FSCA, for example, has warned against somebody called Ava Invest, which is claiming to be part of a company called Ava Capital Markets. So Ava Capital Markets is a real company, it's legitimate, and they're just impersonating them. So these are the kinds of things that are really going on out there, and obviously trying to take, South Africans' hard-earned money.
So where can one check if a warning has been issued, or if they want to check if a person, an individual or a company has actually been registered?
So I think it's very important. First of all, you can go and look at any warning that the FSCA has put out. It's actually on their website, fsca.co.za. You can go to the little tab that says News. I had to look for it, so I want to share that. You click on News. Once you open the News tab, you can click on Warnings and Alerts. And there it will list all companies that have had warnings against them. But keep in mind, it takes time for these companies to come onto the FSCA's radar. So don't assume that if the company's not on there, it's legitimate. Rather, and I've just illustrated some of the sort of scams out there. Go, and you can also, on that same website, you can check the FSP number, whether or not the company you're dealing with is really registered with the FSCA. That you can also do that on the website. Check, put in the number. Is it actually a real number? Does it link to a company? And also, for those that are impersonating real companies, check when you've put in that FSP number, it may call up a legitimate company. Check that the address and telephone numbers match with those that you are dealing with. And I would go so far as to phoning the company that is listed on the FSCA, those contact details, just to verify it. At the end of the day, the FSCA is doing what it can, but it's actually up to us as consumers and investors to do our homework.
Absolutely, and I definitely agree with the point you raised around research. We have to verify information before we act on it. Thank you so much, Maya Fisher-Friends, our personal finance guru, for joining us right here on the South African Morning.